Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Odin, and, well, I wanted to make a bit of an intro video, but, much to my surprise, I looked rather stiff and awkward while trying to concentrate on looking at the camera, so I'm going to need a bit of practice with that before I can decide I can show my face to the public. I'm going to be using this channel to post random things like instructions. It's not always going to be jewelry tutorials, it might be some other things and rants. I might do some myth readings, mostly from the Norse mythology line, but I have access to a whole bunch of world cultures as well, so I might share with that. I'm also a writer. If I get comfy enough, I might even do readings of my own works. It's a cyberpunk novel that I'm currently working on. I provided a link to my blog that has bits of it. It's for you guys to show. If you really like the dark and gritty cyberpunk theme, I highly suggest checking it out. I could really use the feedback in the comments. Once I get a following, I might also have things like contests and giveaways, art features, other good stuff, especially for when I'm doing readings, because it's kind of boring looking at me read. For scheduling, starting off, I'm going to try to do things once a week, but depending on what sort of time I have and what it actually takes to produce one of these things, yeah, we'll see what goes. We'll play by ear from there. This week I'm going to be doing a small little thing that I just kind of threw together for a friend a while back, but a miniature cupcake kind of thing. It's a little hard to show in the camera, but it's an adorable, fast thing to throw around for a friend's last-minute present. Make earrings out of it, or a cell phone charm, or what have you. Here's a penny to kind of show you some scale on it. The sizes that I'm going to show you are not set in stone. Feel free to adjust to a size larger for a pendant, or the beads kind of don't really go much smaller than what I'm mentioning, but yeah. And onto the materials. For the bead side, you're going to need 5 beads in 4mm size of the wrapping color that'll be down here. The 5th one doesn't really have to match immediately. It's going to be stuffed inside the center, so it'll give you something to anchor on later on when we finish the piece. But I'm using Swarovski crystals. You guys don't have to. I mean, this thing would even look cute in round beads or seed beads even. Then you'll be needing 4 of the wrapping color in the 3mm size. You'll also need, for the frosting, 13 3mm size in whatever frosting colors you choose. I put vanilla here. I've got a picture of chocolate here. I'm going to doing a mishmash of chocolate because I think I ran out of one color. I'm also going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to replace one of the frosting colors with a red to make it look kind of like a cherry. Then you'll also need 3 beads to represent the candle here. And you'll also need 1 bead for the flame. You'll also need a headpin or a length of wire about 3 to 4 inches to work with. And also our stringing material is monofilament. I commonly use 6-pound tests. This is like a $3 spool that I bought from Walmart. And I've had it since high school, and it's about running low now, but it's been with me forever. And for the tools perspective, what you will need is a pair of wire cutters, a pair of round nose pliers. This will be used to form the shape, and a pair of chain nose pliers. This kind of helps grip and hold in some of the pieces. In order to follow me a little bit better on the tutorial, I highly recommend that you also use 2 colors of Sharpie to mark the ends of your monofilament to make it easier to see, for one, and also for being able to follow the directions. I usually reference each thread by the red side or the blue side. It's been, every time I teach a class, everybody loves this method and likes to follow, and says it's easy for them to follow along. So I choose to use that. And that's about it for materials. I'll have a list of them below in the below section. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do is going to take about a 2 to 2.5 foot length of monofilament, and you're going to mark each thread, 1 red and 1 blue. It's easier to see down there. Yeah, 1 red and 1 blue. You're going to start by stringing on 3 of your wrapping flavored, or your wrapping colored 4mm beads. Then you're just going to kind of center it down in the middle of your thread and kind of leave it there hanging. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your last one, string it onto one of your threads. You're going to do something that I refer to as crossing. You're going to take the other thread and push it through the opposite direction. So you end up with a little X by making the threads there. Now, if you pull that tight, pull it all the way down, you're going to end up with a little flower or cross shape. It's a pattern of 4. This is what I like to call the base row. This is what we're going to use to build on top of the cupcake. So this is basically what you made just now, the little center of 4. So what we're going to start working on now is building upwards to make the body of the cupcake. Now what we're going to do is we're going to position our piece so that the blue thread is on our left hand and the red is on our right hand. And we're going to string on one of the 3mm cupcake wrapping beads, one frosting color in 3mm, and one more wrapping color. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hold this here, we're going to pinch it on the blue thread, and we're going to leave it there so we can easily cross it with the red thread. If we can get the bead to cooperate. There we go. And there we made our cross. So we're going to pull it tight, the center of our piece, and now we've got 2 of those patterns of 4 on top of each other. Like that. Okay. Now what we've got to do next is to set up for the next stitch. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the blue thread and we're going to restring through the next adjacent 4mm bead over this one right here. So take your blue thread, thread it through your 4mm bead and pull it tight. And make sure your camera doesn't fall on your face. Alright, you would think by now I've learned if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but anyway. So after you've restrung it, you end up with the threads coming out of the top 2 beads of your cupcake. Going here. So now we're going to need to add another side. So we're going to take our red thread and add 1 frosting color and 1 wrapping color. Going to take our blue thread and cross the wrapping color. Like that. Pull it all the way down. And it'll start to pop up. This is what you're looking for. Now what we're going to need to do is restring again along the path to build in more sides. So we're going to take our red thread and string it through the next adjacent 4mm bead here. We're going to take that. And pull it tight. Now we're ready again to set up the next piece. So we're going to take our blue thread and put on 1 more frosting color and 1 more wrapping color going to take our red thread and cross at the last wrapping color that we made. Pull it tight. Okay, now we're about ready to finish this row. You see all we have left is we have a 4mm bead here and we have another wrapping color next to it. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to restring both of these beads in order to be able to move up. So, you take your blue thread, go down the last 4mm bead, pull it tight, and then go up the 3mm wrapping color bead up top. You're going to end with the threads coming out of the two wrapping color beads right across from each other. Like that. To finish this row, you're going to take one more frosting color bead. We'll add it to your blue thread. And then we'll cross it with our red thread. And pull it tight. And you made this little bubble thing. That would be cute by itself as an earring. Kind of like that, or just a little bubble. Anyhow, now we're going to move over to finishing the frosting bit.